Hey, I'm Kev, Mr. Con. Welcome to MotoGP 18. As young riders from all over the world know that the best way to access the Motorcycle Grand Prix is by competing in the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup. Since the beginning has brought plenty of assist to riders, many of who have gone on to become world champions. Well, only Johan Zarco so far has become world champion as far as I know, double Moto T champion. But Jorge Martin might be able to join him this year in Moto 3, taking place on all the best tracks in Europe. Riders competing in the Cup have the chance to race on a World Grand Prix bike. The KTM RC 250R, specially designed for rookies, closely related to the Moto 3 category World Championship bike. The teams in the MotoGP pit pay close attention to rookies races, scouting as well as the next best talent. So let's begin our adventure then. Who are we going to be? In it, so we got some faces to choose from. Unfortunately, you can't customize them in it. Like as that's a race we recognise from Monster Energy Supercross. Have they reused some of these? Yes, they have. That is a bit disappointing. I would have thought they tried to be a bit more kind of different from Monster Energy Supercross, not just reuse some assets from it. But again, this is the first game on the Unreal Engine for MotoGP, so I guess we shouldn't be too surprised. Should we go with the typical Italian stallion, shall we? Here we go. A bit cross though. You know, it's like what is our name? Well, it's not going to be Marl. Should we go with... Oh, what should we go with? Shall I just go with my first name? As I'm not feeling imaginative at the moment. But in surname, we could go with a Vermeer surname. One we've used quite a lot. Well, I've reused it a bit too much. I don't feel Kev would be right then. You know what, we'll go with Mario MacDonald then. As abbreviation, it would be MacD, wouldn't it? Or it could be M. It could be actually. He could be just mad all the time. That is his abbreviation. He is mad. What's his age? So we got 16 up to 38. We could make him a 38-year-old rookie. Actually, shall we make him a bit later? Make him 25. When was he born? He was born on a leap year, shall we say. I'm tempted to put... Do they have Italy? Or do they not have Italy? They do have Italy. Just gone a bit too quick there. Should we make him from San Marino? From the lights of Ax de Angelis. That's a motorcycle rider from there. What would his number be? Could be in tribute of the late Nicky Hayden. Or 98, in tribute to the late Dan Weldon. Or 58, of course, in tribute to the late Marco Simoncelli. But I think... It's a bit unfortunate you can't set more numbers down there. But shall we just make it... Just make it 49. No significant reason for that. Actually, let's make it 98. There's racing font. Let's see if there's more customization this time. No, there's even less customization this time. 4 different fonts. Are you kidding, Milestone? How have you not been able to find more than 4 fonts? This has been a problem since 2013. I know it's a new engine and all, but we'll be rebuilding it from the ground up and they could only find 4 fonts. Okay. So you could go for like the Jorge Lorenzo-esque font, which is very thick. Old school font. Let's just go with this font. And then the colour, make it light blue. Actually, that's pink. My eyes are absolutely terrible. So this could be blue. Or it could not, for before I know. That's how bad my eyes are. But I want a kind of light blue. They don't really have a good shade, do they, Golden Light? It's all kind of thick. Would that be good enough? And then nickname. Let's just go to our player's arse. What could be his nickname? It could be the Maniac, like Juan Andrea Iannone. He's Maniac Joe. Could just make this Maniac Mayo. Or the Plumber. Actually, yeah, let's call him the Plumber, shall we? And then let's see if there's more than 4 fonts. No! God's sake. Let's just have Plumber all across his arse. And then it has to be red, doesn't it? If he's nicknamed the Plumber, it has to be red. It has to be quite... There we go. Quite a dark red or quite light. So the Plumber is born. As what is the race distance? I'm not doing 100%. You're guaranteed that. So you go for 25. We do qualifying in the race. And this is pretty good. Following the steps, so the F1 games or simulators, we've now got percentages for difficulty here. So you can go to 0%, no, 20%, or 120%. As we go for realistic extreme, I'm not sure extreme. Should we go for 100? Start off there, and if it's too much, of course we can lower down into hard, or if it's not enough, we can up the challenge. And that's been a difficulty for Milestone, where in the past it's felt like the games are too easy, you know, not hard enough. Definitely with this slider, hopefully it makes it a bit tougher for people. Especially those aliens out there has... Yeah, let's get a manual start on. I do like this as well. We've got a manual start now. As riding aid, everything is off. Do everything myself. Get out of here. And in reputation. So reputation how popular a rider is. This is something that's very familiar with, of course, from MotoGP Center and previous MotoGP games. And then the transfer window as well. Only a small window to move to another team or to another category. If you don't match your team's expectation, you might be forced to change direction. That's pretty good. They actually have a say in whether you're going to move on or not. So this our rider. I'm a bit disappointed we're not in an office. I would have expected that maybe. Going back to that environment that we had in the older MotoGP games. But we can look at our emails as hopefully they're not useless. Like they normally are, as if you've forgotten the point system in MotoGP. 25 for a win, in 2016 on the podium, 13-11 in down in point increments from 6th down to 15th. And then your personal manager, racing against champs to the best way, increasing your rider skills. With every race you'll earn experience, you'll improve abilities in throttle management, brakes management, riding position, leaning angle. So this is something from Valentino Rossi, the game, if you remember that, where we could improve our rider in certain aspects. Unfortunately, it's automatic then, but it seems like now we've got the choice, maybe, of how we had these. Let's try to understand the sequence of every track, take advantage of its characteristics, improve as much as possible. And again, this is something from the MXGP games as well. So that's good to see that Milestone are just nicking from other games that they've done. And are trying to improve that. Has, in the MotoGP news, Dovizioso's won in Texas. Someone has beat Marquez. Already unrealistic. Can't be bothered playing this now. Someone beat Marquez in America. What are you on? At least Alex Marquez won in Moto 2. Canet won in Moto 3. Then we look in the first round. Marquez won in Qatar. Ahead of Dovi. We've got Alex Marquez winning in Moto 2. Then Bezzecchi winning in Moto 3 with Tuba on the podium. I know he's improved this year, but it's a bit surprising. It's the Japanese rider on the podium. And Canet won in Argentina in Moto 3. Marquez again in Moto 2. They really have elevated Alex Marquez to God tier, it seems like, as Dovi won in MotoGP and then repeated that in Texas. Bezzecchi winning in Kota. So that's pretty interesting. Websites again a bit streamlined. Before we had the magazines, I would have preferred that. As we look at the calendar, looks like we're heading to Jerez. Then the second round is in Mugello. Can't wait for that. Then Assen, the classic circuit. Then Sachsenring, the short anti-clockwise German circuit. Then the Red Bull Ring, another short circuit with very high speed. Then the World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli in Mazzano. And then we end in Aragon, where we've seen in the past some controversy in the Red Bull Rookie Cup for the likes of Patrick MacDonald And these are the standings, and these are pretty cool. They actually follow the real life graphics. So we've got 26 riders, Andrea Hurt is at the top. Won't be for long though, as Mario will take him down. And this is my career, so you can see audio level 41. So maybe it is automatic. That would be a bit disappointing. When you see those are levels to improve. So you need 50 points to get up a level. Then we got our stats. Got our World Championships won. At least we got more detail on this screen. I remember trying to do the video for Dan MacDonald, trying to do the recap. I'm having to go back through all my videos, try and catch up on all the stats. It's all in one place now. That is very good to see. And then rider customization. We know what we can do there. But let's just head to next weekend. We've done enough rambling. Let's get underway with the action. This is Mario walking in to his engineer. We do have some more cutscenes now in this game. This is good to see. Sitting down. They're discussing probably lunch, you know. Yeah, why are you late, mate? His engineer's not interested in his lunch at all. Maybe you can look at some of the rules. So for sessions, flags, tyres, categories as well. And you can look at the options as well, what we can change. We've got weekend management, so we can just skip to the race if we want. Weekend results as well. So we can look at qualifying times now. We've got Sean Kelly at the top. There's Mario MacDonald at the bottom. And then bike settings. So we can manually edit. I'll just load some settings like in previous games. Actually, not in previous games. Auto setting. Auto setting's what I'm thinking of. That's where we can maybe just say, oh, it's a bit short on the straights, the gearing. Can we make it a bit longer? And they do it automatically. So we can't change much on the Rookies Cup. Just the suspension. So you can change the preload, the forks, the single shock absorber, the spring as well. So it's just as it was in previous games. Now, I'm not very good at setup, so I'm not changing anything, especially for first time on the bike. I just want to see how it feels and maybe think of changing something further down the line. Let's get out on track. Here is Mario MacDonald for the first time. There he is, he's geared up. Forgot to customise his helmet, didn't we? Where is he going on to his 98? So here is Mario MacDonald hanging on to his bike as we get underway. And as you can see, in the bottom right, it's something a bit different. That's pretty cool. We also got bike indicator as well as we're just cruising. This is our first lap. So we're just going to learn these very different looking circuits. This is a very wide OS. It is incredibly tight. Easy, but it feels like we've got an ocean of tarmac around us. Again, might be because we're on a Rookies Cup bike. As we've already set and invalid that. So let's see if the handling's any different. Let's see if the animations of the rider's any different. And let's just enjoy our first few laps as well. So we're normally just going to do one lap. Just like we've done previously. Just do one lap on a qualifying effort and then go into the race. Well, this is our first time, so we're just going to take a few laps here. Just get used to the handling. Get used to this effectively Moto3 bike. Provided by KTM. Be interesting to see if it actually handles any different than the Moto3 bike. There wasn't much difference on 17. Like I said, they're very similar bikes. This is all about momentum. This is all about keeping the speed up, that apex speed up. Kind of using the brakes as less as you can. Notice the slipstream should be a demon on this thing as well. Same on Moto 3. Hopefully there's some good pack racing in Moto 3. Like you would expect at Mugello. And they're very fast circuits. And then with Moto 2, with MotoGP, bit different the riding style. There's all someone's getting to know us. So 49.2 is the fastest that. We're going to be mid-50s. Not a very good first lap at all. We've already got someone on our arse trying to get us. Go quicker as you go wide in the first corner. Just trying to push the bike through the corners a bit. On the brakes, not very good. That's it, we get through then. At least you've got a rider to follow now. That's good. Lean is way more than I expect. Very different. This lean angle is... Feels like I could just lay this bike on the ground at 90 degrees and I'll go through the corner. It says we've got some traction control going on. I don't remember that. That's a 1.6 down. We've got lots of work to do. Maybe we've got to use some of that rear brake. They don't often like using due to tyre wear. We might have to at this level. Seems like we might actually have a bit of a difficult game from Holstein. That'd be pretty good. This is still way behind the rider in front. I feel like I'm braking at MotoGP distance rather than Moto3 or Rookies Cup distances. I'm just still used to that. At a 48.6, that was the fastest. I do love the graphics as well. Definitely do not need to brake through that corner. Just a little confidence brake. Go into the final corner, get it down to second, let someone down our inside. And cut back on the exit. Get out of here, as it's going to be a 53, is it? No, 52 flat, so we're 3.3 off. Let's do another of that. Oh, once again. It's very deceiving that corner. Being up here, seeing, oh, I can brake deep into that corner. No, just not working at the moment. Same this corner downhill. You've got to brake very early for that. Then flat out through the left. Slight dab the brakes through this left, but don't need to do that. Maybe just a slight lift instead. And look at that, right on the times now. For the first sector, at least there's all too much curb on the inside. Again, braking way too much. But we're going to be at least 1 second down now. We're close to the 1.5. Or not. Just 6 seconds down, we'll take that. Once again, out braking ourselves into the cul-de-sac corner. We're now over 20 years ago. Michael Schumacher hit Jack Villeneuve. And Villeneuve won the F1 title. Go through the left, very wide. Again, just want to get on the power early. Trying to take that in third, just not working. Dab the brakes for the second part, get hard on the power, 1.6 down. We are posting personal bests. So once again, way more lean than I expect. You can probably take that corner flat out. So a rider ducking into the pits in front, that kind of distracts us slightly. It's getting a bit wide in the final corner. This should be quicker. Closer to a 50. Yeah, 50.8, so 2.2 down. Let's just see if we can get this first corner right again. Going wide. Just feels so weird, this circuit. Incredibly wide. Well, getting used to the bike at least. Remember, there's lots of lean. There's probably more that can be unlocked as we're 0.4 down. Let's get it down to just 4. That's now that corner's got a bit of a gradient to it, a bit of a rise. Got to be careful of that, making sure we don't wash out and go wide. So now a second down. Not improving at all on this lap. You see they're through long left. Get it down to third this time. Seems better. Get it down to second. Much better in that sector. Look at that, 1.6 down. I know it doesn't sound impressive, but I think maybe we just weren't using enough gears. We slight lift. Remember, we can use all these green parts as well. The concrete. So a bit wide in Jorge Lorenzo corner. But this is quicker. 150. We do one final lap. Getting it all the way down to first this time. At least we made the corner. Maybe that's why we need to use all the gears. Like once again, it's too used to using MotoGP bike where we don't use all the gears. That seems much better, much more positive. 3/10 down. Oh, once again, going a bit wide in that right-hander. As I believe it's our 5th lap. So 48.6. Let's get under 150 at least. So a bit wide. At least with these bikes, you can just chuck it out of corner. They're mostly stick because they're wide. Go through the left. They were just testing out the physics, you know, of being off track. Get down to first, bit wide. 1.2 back. We've got to change gears. Always good when you do that. Seeing all that curbing. As you can go out through that corner, just a slight confident left still. And into the final corner, we mess up, we're down. Oh, Mario. At least you now know what happens when you crash. Well, I think that's the adventure over of getting used to the riding. Let's just get into the race. So we've got Carlos, a home hero, on par ahead of Can Oku. Again, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. And Adrian Carrasco. Again, at least say that name. In third. As we scroll through the field, Sean Kelly rounds out the top 10, the American. Where is Mario though? On his day, we've got Dan Jones, the Brit, in 16th, Max Cook in 19th. Oh, he's at the back. Just though. Again, 2.5 seconds off, or 1.5 seconds off, and he's at the back. It's incredibly close in the Red Bulls Rookie Cup. Let's see if he can get it together and be a bit quicker in the race.
Hello and welcome to the Jerez de la Frontera circuit. Just a few more minutes to wait before the Spanish Grand Prix finally begins. The skies over the track are clear of clouds, and the latest weather reports forecast temperatures in line with the seasonal average. We are now broadcasting from the starting grid, where everything seems ready. It's always difficult to predict the results of a race like this, but the riders we're seeing right now definitely seem to be the favourites.
So that's Manny Edit, and this is pretty cool as well. Seeing that on the grid, making last minute adjustments here. Now I think we need to make the suspension a bit softer maybe. Make the bike a bit lower maybe. The bike understeers. Necessary to lower the front ride height. So we're doing that. And then do that for the rear as well. Or is that too though? Feels like we do need to lower the... Because we are just running riding corners. The increase the damping makes the bike more responsive but less stable. Less damping makes a less responsive, more stable bike. Again, I think we need to go in this direction. Then shock absorber. I know you normally meant to just change one, then test it. That was what we were doing qualifying. But this is the race. We're chucking the kitchen sink here. Increasing the damping makes the bike more responsive but less stable. Not sure what we need to do with the shock absorbers. Maybe just keep them where they are. That's one thing we're not going to change. And in the springs, the damping. Make it stiffer. Makes the bike precise but unstable. Softer damping makes it more stable but less precise. That might actually work for us. Making it a bit softer. That's the issue we're having with kind of leaning a bit too much going into some corners. Maybe we need to do that and then make that... increase the damping. Let's see if this works. As we look at the full grid, I do love this. Everyone's on mediums. As you can see through the grid. I do love these graphics. As you look through and look at the back. Oh, there's Mario. The pride of San Marino.
Just a few moments to go until the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. These riders know it will be vitally important to take the first curve perfectly.
So you are revving it up, holding in the clutch. We get underway. Not a super getaway there. Here towards the first corner in last by a bit, but oh, we're getting some real slippage. Didn't get that in qualifying. So holding on to the back of everyone, at least it seems pretty good in the first few corners. They seem a bit better, our opponents. As our bike's still going wide a bit. As you can see, in the bottom right, we've got all of the electronics on, so now that I've actually bothered to look at the controls, let's turn these off, turn the traction control off, give some more control back to us, so hopefully it'll make us a bit better. But we do have to be a bit smoother getting on the throttle. We go for the left hander, at least we're keeping up on this first lap. So go a bit wide through the left. Look at that lean. There's all Garcia up to 7. I do love the graphics on the right hand side. And so 1.2 back of everyone else. We are pushing harder. Just not good enough at the moment. It's all very wide, clipping the gravel. Let's go into the final corner. Get down to first. Get on the power and look at the swarm in front. So Turkish rider leads, we're second back. Let's see if we can close that gap on this second lap. So I'm starting to get the hang of this. Looks like a race. To really get used to the bike. So you lift through the left, maybe you don't need to lift so much. But again, we're keeping pace with the back. That's good. Let's go a bit wide through the right hander. Not good for Mario at all. Actually, still got the bike indicator as well in the bottom right, as you can see. Might just turn that off though for this level, and then turn it on for say MotoGP, Moto2, and it might start to affect us. Don't expect tyre wear to be a major issue at this level. I do expect keeping on the track though will be. Go for the left hander. Pushing as hard as we can. Don't think I'm perhaps using engine braking enough. Something which is very effective, as we've seen in the TT Isle of Man. It's looking smooth enough this lap, just got no pace. So go flat out through the right hander, that's more like it. Wait for the final corner down to first. 48.4 is the fastest that, just like in qualifying. As we do a 50 flat. Just a second off. But we're still last. Absolutely incredible how close it is. Of course, they're all on identical bikes though. So there goes the rear again. As we're in the second half of our first race here, Mario needs to find something. He's not going to finish last. As the gap has been very consistent in front. There you go, he's getting a bit better now, going on to this back straight. You can see speeds over 130 miles per hour. There we go, using all the engine braking, that's a bit better. There you go, just use that engine braking again. Let's get all the way down to first. There you go, he's really pushing this, that Mario. We've got some battling going on in front. We go hard on the power. Now we might have a chance of making a move going into the final corner. Here we go, the double right up, a bit wide in the first part. We're going flat out through the second. Mario going for 25th. Not quite. No, he goes on the power and he's down. Oh, trying to cut back. Just was not happening. As it going to the final lap. At least. That was decent pace, right? We're getting there. It's just the first race. Still got lots of learning to do with this bike, with this game. He's using all the curves. Let's see if we can set a quick lap on this final lap. So once again, that camber in the middle of the corner, just those bumps pushing that bike wide when you want to be so close, hogging that curb. There's always got a battle for the lead going on. And see he's closing on 25th. So go hard on the power. You go on the power hard. He is closing. Close half a second this lap. So at least he's got the pace of the back markers, we can say about Mario. So once again, into the gravel. Just collecting gravel from every circuit, so he's got to do that every race, you know. And then it's like, oh, Krasser got denied in his home race. The Turkish fellow in third. As Mario sets a 49 on the final lap, but has to shake his head after an unsuccessful debut. Yes, here we go. Here's our rewards then. Have we got nothing? But it is a Spanish 1-2 on home turf with Tatai, is that how you say it? At a Carrasco. It can in third. We've got Japanese rider in fourth, Czech rider in fifth. As you scroll through the field, look at the fastest laps. 49.5. So that's the pace of being top 20 at least. That's not too bad in our first race. I do want to be top 10 around the 49 mark, but we'll take that. So here is the Riders' Championship. As you can see, 25 for the win, 1 for 15th. And in career rewards, we're up to level 41. Are we? So that's our first race with Mario. Not the race we wanted though, as we're around halfway on ride position, lean angle for the next level, just less than half for throttle management and brakes management, and 26th. He's got some improving to do around the Mugello circuit next time out. Will Mario fly on almost home turf next weekend? South watching and find out next time.